Here, I'll stand there and you look. Right here on this line.
A little bit closer. Awesome. I've missed you guys so much. My 5-month vacation is over because I don't have kids at home. You guys are just looking forward to something different starting. Okay, well, yay. So, back to Girl Scouts again. Our theme for this year, I'm going to say it right up front, is sisters, hands in hand. Just not touching each other. Okay. I hope that everybody picked up. There's a bunch of stuff to pick up. In your folders out there are a bunch of things that I copied off of the website, stuff that you may have already read before. I just thought that we could have it here to look at. Also, a little invitation kind of thing about sister troops. I'll talk about that some too. And Carrie is trying to catch everybody to get information about troop membership. So as we look forward to recruitment, we can get started on that. Okay, so, all right, let's start. Let's start with the Girl Scout promise. On my honor, I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. Oh, that's good. We'll be singing later on, so just understand. I will tell you that the service team has been working pretty hard all summer thinking about the current state of events, just like every other part of this world that we have to think about. And we kind of came up with a mission statement. Well, actually, we came up with a mission idea, and then I sort of wrote it down as a mission statement. So, sorry, service team people, but it goes something like Beaver Creek North. The service unit is going to promote in-person Girl Scouting that can be safe and reasonable, at the same time encouraging every venue of Girl Scouting so that all leaders and girls feel like they're having a quality Girl Scout experience this year. And the name of the game this year is going to be Grace and Accommodation for Everybody. So all ideas are great ideas, all problems can be solved, and we're going to have a great time doing Girl Scouts, and I hope other people are feeling that way too. Yay! All right. We aren't often all here together at the same time, morning people and evening people, so this is kind of cool, and I'm getting all confused because I like memorize people by when they come, and of course you're not even sitting in your assigned seats, and everything is confusing, but would the people, I even set up this camera, and I'm not in front of it. Sorry people at home, you didn't get to see me with any of that, right? Would the service team members come up here, because a lot of times the service team members are like all in the evening meetings or all in the morning meetings, and I just want to, the people who have not met the service team people will figure that out. So come up here, 6 feet apart. This is your mark right here. When I introduce everybody. You guys don't have to say, you don't have to say anything, I promise. Okay, all right, so here's your mark right here, so that, Sandy, here's your mark. That's so that people can see you for the recording. All right, Sandy, and usually Jan too. Jan's not here.
No, she's gone. She's out of town right now. Of course.
All right, so Jan, Sandy, and usually Jan are part of the Girl Scout Leadership Experience team. So mentors, experience and wisdom, all that kind of stuff, with a huge specialty in older girls and especially cooking. Everybody's experienced that, haven't they? The cooking part. Thank you, Sandy. Who's next?
So she can sit down.
I was gonna say.
Okay, Anna.
Anna, so she can.
Don't you have people too?
Debbie's over there.
Debbie.
I don't get to go separate. I have to be with Anna.
You do. Another group thing, right? So Anna.
What's your last name now?
Erwin.
I can never. She has so many last names. I mean, and Debbie Henderson and Tanya Fry. Events, especially the Carnival, the family partnership. Family partnership is a big part of that. Yeah, and Holiday Fest. Yeah. So
Yeah, thank you.
We can go sit down now.
Let's go. All right, who's next? Jean. All right, Jean Henderson, you've all met Jean, haven't you, at the cookie cupboard? She is bigger than service team. She is cookie cupboard extraordinaire for everybody around. So, thank you. And speaking of cookies, has everybody picked up all their stuff, Nicole? Or just...
I got them with me.
If you have not picked up, this is your last chance, or I get them to give away as prizes. All right, everybody knows Nicole for cookies. Yay, Nicole! Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, everybody, bring them on with you, Carrie. All right, so Carrie is in charge of membership and recruitment, both. Right? So Carrie is the one that sends you the emails. Please respond to her emails. Please respond to her emails, or else she sicks me on you, and then I just feel like I'm in this weird position, like, maybe they'll talk to me. All right, so recruiting right now, she's concentrating on membership, but especially recruiting team chair with Kristen Sudelko for Trebine and Devin Reedy for Maine and Laura Lamb at St. Luke, and we're missing Nicole Wilson for Shaw. And you're going to tell us more about recruiting in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, great. Thank you. Who's next? Oh, Evelyn. Evelyn is the one who makes sure that everybody in Beaver Creek knows what's going on with Girl Scouts. So she's our community liaison.
And Angels Pass.
And Angels Pass, and works real closely with the Beaver Creek Township Park District so that we keep all of that Angels Pass going on. Thank you, Evelyn.
And I help Susan out so we won't lose her. She'll stay the service unit manager.
These are the only friends I have going anywhere. Okay, Keith, yay, Keith, Full Products. That's coming up, isn't it?
Yes.
Not today, though. Okay, good. Thank you, Keith. And Winnie just won't quit. So what are you? You are member at large. Yes, window painting's coming up, too. Yes, Winnie was part of the recruitment team, but now her daughter's aged out with Trebine, so, but we're not letting her leave service team because we love her. So, yeah. We'll find something good for her to do. All right, so everybody that's here? Yay, all right. Okay. I meant to bring copies of the agenda mostly so I have something to look at, and in case other people didn't, so, but I didn't. So I'm winging it, as usual. All right, what's next?
Here, do you want my copy?
Yes, please. Somebody bring this up. My cord only goes so far. Thank you. Yes, okay. All right, so one of the things, as service team was sitting around thinking about what could we do to encourage girls to do Girl Scouting that, one, looks like what people expect Girl Scouts to be, but two, tries to avoid things that are unsafe or not reasonable or maybe a little bit frightening. And we have this idea of sister troops. The idea that your troop and another troop would form a relationship so that, if nothing else, at least you as leaders have somebody else to talk to. And instead of looking forward to large-scale events, maybe we could work out something that were much more reasonably sized. So everybody hopefully picked up a card out there on the table, and your card had your troop number on it, so you know it's yours. It's also color-coded. So if you have an orange card, for example, there's somebody else who has an orange card. That's who your sister troop leader is. Whoa. So let's take just a couple minutes, and if you haven't already recognized who your sister troop leader is, mingle around just a minute and find them. Stay 6 feet apart. You can wave to them when you find them, but just because we didn't work to like keep evening and morning people together, we kind of scrambled everybody up. So no one's moving. So that means that you've all identified each other?
No.
And there's still a few cards left, so that means that not everybody is actually here to pick them up. There's no, if you don't have a troop, there's no one.
No, I'm gonna get around.
No, I'm gonna hand the mic to you. I'm gonna wipe it off with one of these handy wipes right here. Give it to you. She never quits. Who are you looking for? So not everybody's here. There's still some cards on the table, so you might not have your person there.
Right.
So what we tried to do is we tried to match up Daisy troops with juniors and Brownie troops with the older girl troops, the CSAs, with a few variations on that. But the idea being that with a couple of levels difference between troops, you've got some real things that you can share with each other. What we tried to avoid doing too much of is having like third graders and fourth graders, because they just were third graders. They could find out something different, that sort of thing. Now this was all kind of motivated by the idea that this fall would have been a Brownie Skills Day fall. And we just could not come up with any way at all to figure out how to do that safely and reasonably, and to have a quality experience like we're thinking of Brownie Skills Day for everybody who's ever experienced that. So we were thinking about this idea of maybe we could pair troops up and they could work on things together. And so that's coming up next time we meet in September. We'll talk more about our Outdoor Skills Day, which is going to be a sister troop activity that you and your sister troop can consider together and figure out how to execute. And we'll have lots of things go on for at least the rest of the calendar that I wrote out, that hopefully everybody got a copy of in the mail. Has things going on between now and the first of the year. And then we got tired thinking, so we stopped with December. But every month there'll be something that is a suggestion that you and your sister troop might consider pairing up to do. Sometimes they're big things like outdoor skills, and sometimes they're little things like sending each other Christmas cards. And then there's lots of room for choices in between. So sisters hand in hand, because we can together encourage each other. We can, as leaders, network with each other, share our expertise, share our ideas. Even if you don't feel like you have expertise, everybody has awesome ideas. And I know that because I know what your troops are doing, because I spy on you all. And I know that you guys are doing really great things. So we'll talk more about sister troops as time goes on. What I would encourage you to do is make contact with the leader of your sister troop, the leaders. So everybody in the card that has your number on it should have inside of it different names, not your own names, so that you know who your sister troop is. And I try to, like if you are involved in two troops, I try to pair those up so that you aren't like running around with all kinds of troops that you're involved with. So if there's something really objectionable about your pairing, Carrie and I only had to rework this twice. We can do it again. If there's something really objectionable, let us know and we'll do some more moving things around. We've got 50 troops that we can deal with. In your folders, there are handouts that are copies of things that you may or may not have already read. They're kind of like procedural stuff. Kristen, you know you have a folder, don't you?
No.
All of these years. Okay. So things like the recommendations and mandates that Girl Scouts of Western Ohio has for meeting during this time of COVID. So I just copied that off the website and put it in there. The newest thing they've come out with is mandates for meeting, how to think about where to meet, and we will have to have some more conversation about that probably here in this service unit. Schools are probably going to be complicated this year. If you want to try to meet after school, no schools are really telling us anything, but we're feeling pretty pessimistic about that. So where troops might meet is an interesting idea. We are suggesting, and by we I mean Service Team, that we spend the fall outdoors. There's lots of great places here, for example, Angels Pass, any of the parks around your backyard if you feel like that. Lots of places that we can do Girl Scouts outdoors, and that's a really great idea. Hopefully by the time it gets too cold to be outdoors, we'll have a better handle on where indoors can be. What I do know for certain now is Ailey Church is willing to host Girl Scout troops. We just have to work around their calendar. They're very, very generous. And if you are interested in pursuing, seeing if you can meet at Ailey, if you would let me know, I can facilitate it, because since I'm a member, this church it's just so much easier. They don't ask me the same questions they're going to ask you. They just say, okay, so that works out. Peace Lutheran Church is allowing us to meet there. They are under construction right now, so they may not actually be available until about October, but they're allowing that. Be Hope Church has historically been very generous with Girl Scouts, and we have several troops that meet there now. I have not spoken to them yet this year. And so those are things that I know that we can pursue. Of course, the troops that are meeting in specific places, if you like that, I would encourage you to ask them. So for example, St. Luke or Grace Fellowship or some of these other places where, that I don't have a contact with. Mary. Okay, yeah. Questions so far? Going fast. What else did I put in the folder? You would think that I would be prepared, as long as I've been thinking about this meeting. There was two other things. Yes, so one thing that we are definitely working on compiling are resources that as leaders we can use. I think that all of us probably are thinking about, not necessarily freaking out, but maybe, about how Girl Scouts is going to look different. And if we want to pursue something like virtual Girl Scouting, what in the world that means. And so what we're going to definitely want to do is help each other out with that. Some people who are in this group already are doing really great things virtually, if that is something that you're interested in doing. And I met with a group of leaders, and I was calling that group Girl Scouts at a Distance. And there are people who have done some great Girl Scouting already. Should I call them out?
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't me, it was them that decided. So Shannon, who's just now checking in, hit the ground running, Shannon. Shannon has done some amazing things with Zoom. So if you are wondering about how you could introduce Zoom meetings into your Girl Scouting troop and to have something that somebody else has done that works, and it is okay to use other people's ideas. Everybody knows that, right? Like there's no such thing as intellectual property here. We just steal each other's ideas and run with them. She's done some really cool things. She's actually written it all out for me too. And this is a document that we're going to post somewhere. We've still got some things going on, but we're going to post these ideas. Olivia Beal has done some great stuff with using some of the resources from Girl Scouts of Western Ohio. So some of those really great YouTube videos that are out there that during April and May, Girl Scouts of Western Ohio was putting together 2 videos a day. Things for girls to do, different levels, and now they're all archived. And I have used them too with the group of senior ambassadors that I'm dealing with, where you can refer to this video and then put something together with it. Olivia has done a lot of it. And she's also very experienced with the Girl Scout Camp in a Box, right? Which has some really interesting implications for how we do things. So there is some really good stuff. Let's see. Jenna, is Jenna here?
No, right here.
Okay, she's so glad she's not here. Jenna has done some amazing things with her children, her own children at home, that could very definitely be transferred into Girl Scout stuff. It has to do with coming up with a theme and then actualizing that theme over time. Butterflies. What can we do with butterflies as we think through, a month's worth of meetings or something like that? So some really good things. What I would like people to do is when you have a great idea, which is all the time. If you would let me know what it is, and we're going to start sharing these together. Kristen Sedelko is working on a brand new webpage. Yay! Yay! Oh my gosh, it is so beautiful too. She's not letting anybody see because I think she's sort of like a perfectionist and wants it to be absolutely perfect before she publishes it, but she's going to publish it really soon, right? Yes, it's really cool again. She gave me a sneak peek. And there will be ways in that we can share documents and things so that we can look at stuff. So I've got some already. Susie Nelson did a camping trip, and I'm sure that it almost did her in. But she has got some great ideas of how to manage an in-person camping trip during this COVID time. And she wrote it all down. And so is it okay if I publish that one out there too, Susie? So that people can see? Yes, Susan, it is. Okay. All right. So let's share ideas with each other so we have some things. Evelyn spent some time looking around at what other councils are doing in the United States and found some really cool ideas from other councils. For example, in Dakota Horizons, there's actually an activity newsletter that you can subscribe to, and then every so often, I don't know how often, they send you activities that all relate to each other. Sometimes it's badge work, sometimes it's just themed stuff, but you get this email, and in it you get like stuff, like real stuff. It's amazing. So we will make use of Dakota Horizons because awesome. Girl Scouts of Nassau County has done some Girl Scouting at home activities as well. And they have just some ideas of things that are easier to do at home. Like if you're thinking, what is a badge that I could do at home? They have some ideas of things to do and how to actualize that. And Girl Scouts of San Jacinto has a really interesting article about doing community service projects virtually. So we're going to put all of this stuff together out there so that you can go and see it. And then just recently, yesterday, I didn't write it down. I will find it. There is a council somewhere that actually has put together activities for every single badge that can be done virtually. So just a really neat set of resources to have. There's a couple of Facebook pages that I subscribe to because I just want to see what people are doing. One of them is called, I can never think of names when I need to. Girl Scout Virtual Activities. That has tons of stuff every day, like 6 times a day I'm getting new things from them. And Girl Scout Virtual Troop Meetings is another one that's kind of similar. Yeah, there's lots of them, but those are 2 that I see all the time. So don't discount these. If you see something on those that you really like, that you think is worth using, worth retooling, or worth sharing with people, just let me know. And we're going to create this library for ourselves that we can all go to. The idea is that we can do this. We're going to have a great Girl Scout year. We're going to have to do things maybe a little bit differently. Maybe not. It depends on how things go. And we just want there to be lots and lots of resources. Questions yet? I feel like all I'm doing is talking tonight. Okay.
There is a big Girl Scout of Western Ohio adventure.
Oh, yes, thank you.
This is right now because of what they're working on.
Girl Scouts of Western Ohio has a new Facebook page called Adventure Base, and it does have activities to do. It just started like a week ago, and I haven't spent a lot of time on it yet, but they promise that they're going to have great ideas to do in a variety of different formats. So that's pretty cool. Girl Scouts of Western Ohio has done a really awesome job, in my opinion, putting together resources, and actually, based on some of the chat I've seen on some of the Facebook pages that I belong to, is they're getting really big national attention from it. When someone will say, does anybody know of any council that's doing anything for girls virtually? And then there'll be 16 people that respond, Western Ohio, Western Ohio, Western Ohio, Western Ohio. So it's kind of cool to know that we've got that kind of resources behind us. Our guest tonight is Donna Bogart. And I asked Donna to come. Donna and I were standing around in church on Sunday just talking because I mostly go to church just to find people like Donna to talk to. And Donna works for a virtual school. And she was talking about, I don't remember how the conversation went, but she was describing what was important to know about putting together a good virtual presentation. And I said, and now we're going to talk about Girl Scouts, Donna. And so I asked her to come, and using her expertise of having worked for a virtual school, come closer, for, I don't know, 5 years? Maybe not quite that long.
This is my 5th year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows about putting together good virtual presentations, which if I were going to say I'm going to start a virtual troupe, I probably just would turn around and walk away. So I want to hear what Donna has to say, just to give us some ideas about what she thinks is good for a virtual troupe, because although I've never taken one of her classes, because I really am not interested in middle school history anymore, but I imagine it's fabulous knowing Donna. Okay, so Donna used to be a Girl Scout leader. Her daughter and my daughter and Carrie's daughter are all the same age, and so they're off away at college, and we just rope Donna back in as often as we can. So
I get roped in quite a bit.
Yes, you
Knowing
do.
Susan, she's good at that. But yeah, I teach online at Ohio Virtual Academy. This year I'm teaching sixth grade history. I've taught middle school math and middle school social studies. And so I was thinking about that, and it's like everybody's got different levels of comfort. That you guys are out here tells me that your level of comfort is probably a lot higher than the level of comfort of those that are not here with meeting face to face. So, you know, you can meet face to face as long as you keep safety in mind, and as long as your girls and your families are comfortable. But what if you're not a person that feels comfortable with that? Or what if your families are not comfortable with that? How are you going to accommodate that? How can we be inclusive of all girls this year? Well, one of the things is you can have virtual meetings. So I put together kind of a Bitmoji classroom, if you will, but a troop meeting. Bitmoji classrooms are really a craze right now. Raise your hand if any of you guys have heard of them or seen them. Yeah, okay, so the thing is that you use your Bitmoji and you make a virtual scene, but you can link things to them. And so Bitmoji classrooms are kind of a fun way that you could use a virtual meeting, or use in a virtual meeting. Maybe doing some badge work. You could have girls explore through their virtual meeting how, you know, different steps to the badge, where they're going on their own instead of you're talking to them, because that's the most boring thing ever. I have taken online classes, I just want to poke my eye out with a pencil. So I try not to make my classes that way. So what you've got to do, if you're doing a virtual meeting, is try to keep them interactive, and also give the girls the lead. You do that with Girl Scouts all the time, you know, whether it's a control system or anything else. Give the girls a chance to do it. They probably know more about using the computer than most of the adults. So the younger they are, the more control you have, just as in a meeting, and the older they are, the more control you give them. However, you always have ultimate control. So if you decide to do a virtual meeting, when you set up your virtual meeting and whatever you choose to use, whether it's Zoom, Google Meet is free, and that's a pretty good one too, and there's quite a few others, then you want to make sure that you set it up as a moderator and nobody has any privileges when they come in. Otherwise, you guys heard of Zoom bombing, I'm sure, last spring. People can come in and all of a sudden you lose control. So, you give your link out when people come in, then give them the permissions. That's a way to keep your girls safe and not totally lose your meeting or have something up that you're going to have to explain to parents. So, you know, make sure you keep the controls, and then you give the controls once they come in. You'll know the girls. So that helps. So what I did is I put together a resource for you. It's a virtual Girl Scout meeting, some ideas for leaders. And I've got a link, and I think Susan's going to share that. And basically there's 3 slides in here. You got your cover slide. You can steal things off of there to make your own Bitmoji classroom. And let's see if I don't use an Apple computer, so I'm going to have to figure out how to go to the next one with this. How do I go? How do I, I don't know. I don't know.
I've never used Bitmoji classrooms, so.
Well, you just go, there we go.
It's
Okay.
magic.
Okay.
So when I tried out the screen, it was not as sunny. Sorry, if you can see something.
Yep, so it's okay. You'll have this copy of this. So there are some little links on this screen. And basically, if you, on your computer, you can do it on your phone, but phones are a little small, or regular computer screen or tablet will work better. But there are links, hot links on there, that'll take you to some documents. And you can use that as an idea to generate for doing your own troop meetings. Yeah, there's some sirens there. But these will also help remind you of anything that I might have said or might not have said on here. So some of my links here that I have is I have ideas for virtual meetings. I have tips for virtual meetings, and I've gone over those tips. There's lots of ideas. Resources for virtual meetings, and platforms, thank you, platforms like Zoom, things like that, and links to those in the document that you'll go to. There's also a little computer down in the corner over there, underneath the Girl Scout picture there, and it's a video of how to make a Bitmoji classroom, step by step. So you just click on that, it'll take you there. Once you go someplace, you'll run other places, oh, look, I can go to this and this. So you go in there, and then up on the shelf above the flag, there's some Girl Scout badges. Well, you know, I mean, I steal all the time intellectual property offline. That's really loud. After me. So, anyhow, those badges are linked to, I think it's Middle Tennessee Girl Scout Council. They have badges for all age levels right there online. You could create your own virtual setting to do some of those things. So what I'll do is I'll let you guys play with it, but if you click on any of the links there, just click and it'll take you places. Girls love that. It's interactive. And then my final slide, basically, let's see if I can move to another one. It's just a blank page for you to be able to make your own virtual classroom. Basically, you remove my Bitmoji, put your own in. The Post-it notes, you can move around or get rid of them, but I thought you'd like some. And everything else stays there. But you can make your own. But if you're not comfortable jumping in the pool with both feet, without your nose plugs, then steal somebody else's. And so I'm giving you this resource. Do you guys have any questions? Anything you want to know? Yes, go ahead.
When you use this, we're not using this during the Zoom meeting, right? It's the girls are clicking on this on their own.
Well, what I would do if I were using it in a meeting is I would have the meeting going, but have the girls doing this on, on their screen on a different tab, so that you could still talk together, because it's much more fun if you do it with somebody else. So if the girls are like, oh, look, this is so cool, look there, that's what you want. You want them discussing things.
So it would like run it at the same time they were doing, say, Zoom?
Yes,
You could
like on
share
another
your
tab.
screen to a
Well,
Bitmoji classroom?
You could show your screen, but the thing is like clickable links, I haven't found a good platform that you could load in this, unless maybe if you use Google Meets, you might be able to. You have to experiment with that. They've got new things coming out, and that's pretty cool. One of the other things I was going to suggest, and it's in my notes there, is using breakout rooms. So some of the platforms have breakout rooms where you can have people go to certain rooms. So you could have patrol work done in different rooms. You could have different groups working on things. Or one of the things that I'll do in my online classroom is I'll put different things, like say we're reviewing for a test or something. Say it's on ancient Greece. So maybe in one room I'll have Greek gods and goddesses, and another one democracy, and another one something else, so the kids get to choose where they go. You can also use those breakout rooms to do kind of like an escape room idea. That works really good. That's really a fun thing to do. You give them clues, and then you can make like a Google Doc where they have to put the answer in to get the, oh yeah, those right. Or there are also some, you can make virtual escape rooms that are pretty cool. But Susan said, don't get too technical here, Donna, just give them the quick one. So, if that's something that somebody needs to know, I do have some videos that I didn't create them, I got them from somebody else, that'll tell you how to do a virtual escape room. And again, you can't necessarily do them directly on your slide in your live class or live session or meeting, but you can have your live meeting going on, and the girls can be on another device or on another tab on that, and they can still be talking to each other and communicating, because that's the whole name of the game, is communicating with each other. You know, we make connections with people. That's what Girl Scouts is about. We're making connections, we're learning things, and we don't want to lose that. So, you know, make sure you're doing that. You know, that's just one of the things that is really, really important when you're in a virtual environment. Other questions? All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, I being not particularly tech savvy and totally overwhelmed with what she had to say. Sorry. But I think one thing at a time, like if I go and check out what Zoom is capable of. I've logged onto a Zoom meeting before. I've even led one before, but I'm not sure I know how to make breakout rooms. Maybe I'll learn that first. Or maybe I'll just go to this link, and I am going to send you the link to her Bitmoji classroom so that we can play around with that. Maybe I'll just go there and play around with it some and put my Bitmoji in where hers is. Does everybody have a Bitmoji? If you don't, you are missing out on one of the funnest things in life. Making that Bitmoji is so much fun. The cartoon of yourself that you create.
The little video that's in there will tell you about making your Bitmoji and how to do that.
Yeah. What I want to caution everybody is none of us have to learn every single thing. There will not be another Girl Scout troop that looks exactly like the one that you're leading, the one that your girls are in. And so don't think that we all have to do exactly the same things, because we absolutely do not. Girl Scouts has never had every Brownie troop doing exactly the same things at the same time, working the same way. And it doesn't have to start now. If this virtual stuff doesn't sound very interesting to you, that is okay. It doesn't sound horribly interesting to me, although I recognize the value of it, and I will do some, but not as much as I'm going to try to do in person at a safe distance. But that's just my personality. I know that there are people amongst you here that have absolutely no interest in meeting up with your girls in person, and that is okay. That is absolutely okay. There's more than one of you, and those are just the people I've talked to, and I've only talked to 8 leaders so far. And I can tell you that there's more than one of you that's thinking only virtual for me, and that is okay. Tell us what to do. Once you're figuring it out, share that information with the rest of us. Because come October, November, who knows what life is going to be like, and maybe we're going to need to know all that stuff. We are not having roundtables tonight because logistically I just couldn't figure out how to do it. We will be doing our roundtables virtually. So sometime before our September meeting, there will be roundtables. They will be virtual, probably Zoom meetings, and this will be an opportunity for us to start trying to think about how to share information, how to learn to do some of this stuff. And a certain portion of every roundtable will be dedicated to how can things be done virtually if that's what we choose to do. So don't feel like you had to learn everything that Donna said. Donna is an outstanding resource. I think that if you have questions for her specifically that you think of later and you give her a call or a text or an email, she will gladly answer, because she's just that kind of person. And she knows. How long you were a Girl Scout leader for
Longer than my oldest daughter is 34 now, so a long, long time.
So she was for all of that time. So you got your 13 years in, right? And then,
yeah.
And more, because you started over again with the next 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've
So
got 3 daughters, so yeah.
spread out in age over decades, so she's done it lots of different ways. Yeah. Okay. One person I forgot to introduce that I should have right off the bat is our council person. That's how I refer to her, our council person. She has a real job title. I don't know what it is.
But only if I'm But anyway.
Oh. Wait, come up here, Kristen, please. Because it is being recorded for people who are not here. There's your mark.
Hello, everyone. I'm sure you've seen emails from me. I've met most of you over the years, but I actually will not be any longer supporting Beaver Creek North. I know. But it's good because I got promoted, so I'll still be around. But your new council support staff member, she starts on Monday. Her name is Marissa. So we're gonna let her learn about Girl Scouts a little, but I'm sure that, I'm sure she'll be around soon and be emailing you. So she's excited to meet everyone.
I forgot to wipe it off beforehand, so now you can wipe your hands. Okay. Trying so hard to follow the rules. Oh, Kristen, while you're up here, let's do volunteer awards. So in the spring, usually we have volunteer awards, and usually Heather is here to help with that. But Heather's son went to Ohio State today. Yay, they moved in. Wow, she's been so worried. So she's off being the one parent who's allowed to take the child to college. You can't say goodbye to both mom and dad anymore. You gotta choose which one is gonna do it. So I guess it was her. All right, so last winter, we asked people to nominate your peers for adult awards, volunteer awards, leaders, people in your troop that you thought exemplified outstanding leaders, and service team. I asked them to help me identify outstanding service team members, and we've got those awards. And also, people told me how many years you've been a Girl Scout, and we have your pins too, I think, don't we, Kristen?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're so organized up here. We practice and practice, didn't we? Okay, what do you want me to do?
So these are all volunteer of excellence.
Okay. If Heather were here, she would have papers that, you know, had little things that people actually wrote about each other, and she's not here. So we're just gonna call your names. And we did mention all of these once before, but now we want to give you your pens and so forth. So, volunteer of excellence, Kristen Sudoku. Yay! What?
Here's this too.
Okay. Yay, Kristen. Here, there's nothing. Is this hers? Or? Oh, all right. Thank you. Sorry, we don't even have anything like formal going on here. Christina O'Malley. Yes. This is all, it's like I've forgotten who they are, so it's so fun. I'm like, yes, she deserves that. Yes. Awesome. You should make everybody tell no. Thank you. This one is for Will Lauterbach, who is with Devin with her younger girls. You can just, yeah. It's really all right. It's all about you, really, Devin. Right here. Oh, here's his pen. Okay, this is a parent, and I can't remember. Lynn Layer. Okay, good. Pardon?
She's with her.
And what position, what wonderful stuff does she do for you?
Yeah, she's a big, she's cookie.
Cookies. Oh, yes. Say no more.
There's a lot of research for it.
Oh, well, there you go. And this is another parent. I can't remember who she goes with. Araceli Diaz? Okay. And what does she do for your troop? Cookies.
I don't know the first thing about cookies.
And you know, and why would you need to?
That's right, you get her. She does everything.
Good deal. And Olivia Beal. Yes, Olivia. The Volunteer of Excellence, it says on here, in recognition for outstanding service and support of the Council's mission to girls and adult members. So all of these people who have received the Volunteer of Excellence have done exactly that.
Thank you.
What's next?
Service Team Star.
Service Team Star. Nicole Sabin. Yes, indeed. Everything about cookies. Oh, how pretty. It's a little bit different. It's a different color. Oh, it's on a different thing. Wow, you're special. Thank you, Nicole. And Jean Henderson, yay! Absolutely. And not just our service team, many service teams would think you deserve this.
Thank you.
The very last thing that Jean was tasked with after cookie season abruptly ended was to donate the cookies from the cookie cupboard. There were approximately 1,000 cases of cookies. And council called her and said, just donate those. And she called me, which is kind of how I felt too. So they went to lots of food banks, right?
Food banks, a couple of nursing homes,
We were a couple of nursing homes. Mostly we were calling the food bank and saying, we'll give you cookies that you'll take them in lots of 100 cases. I would prefer that you take 200 cases and that you come and get them. And it took a week, but we got rid of them.
yeah,
So,
yeah, the food bank too.
yep. Yeah, so that was good. Okay, and,
Do you want to do these right now? Or no?
sure, real fast. Okay, 5-year pins. We're gonna set them out over here on this table, but 5 years goes to Mandy Dickerson, Crystal Green, Carrie Hart, Jamie Jones, Kathleen Miller. Well, none of these people are here. Shannon Nick, Christina O'Malley, Jennifer Rammert, and Devin Reedy. Yay, so it has a 5 on it. That's how you know it's yours, because it says 5 on it. What are these?
10 years.
10 years. Keith Ambrose, Melinda Gilmore, Heather Merrill, Stacy Severin, Kristen Sudoku. Okay, and a weird little message that I didn't understand.
Yes.
All right, and 15 to Debbie Ludwig. Okay, all right, we'll set them out on this table. Don't forget them, because if you don't take them, I won't know who they belong to. So, okay, before we do that, I'm going to finish up what I should have done at the beginning. Okay, did everybody get a ticket put in? All right, Evelyn, will you choose about 4 of them, please? And, oh, the prizes this time, the basket keeps getting bigger and bigger. There's some choices. You can have a mask, Girl Scout flavored. There's some hand sanitizer, official Girl Scout hand sanitizer, or none of those appeal, there's a water bottle. So, Catherine Williams. Oh no! And see, I should have introduced new people right off the bat. and I
Oh,
didn't.
Rebecca, she's new.
Oh, Rebecca's here?
She is here.
Oh,
New Rebecca won.
oh, and I didn't introduce anybody new. And you've stayed
Rebecca?
this whole time,
How do you
Rebecca.
pronounce your last name?
Okay, this is why you fill out a ticket, because you get to have a prize.
Thank you very much.
And so wait, stay here.
Oh, yeah, stay here.
Okay, wait, let's get that one marked, because people at home see this. All right, Rebecca, so during the summer, there was a, come over here closer, but not too close. There you go, you can be on mark. During the summer, there was a Get Ready for Daisies program, and Rebecca and her daughter joined it, and they liked it so much that she's gonna be a leader. She's my new current favorite.
I'm excited.
Yeah, well, join the club. We all started out. But mostly you didn't like run out in the middle of it.
Oh, no.
Because we know that it sounds like a foreign
I
language.
can see your smiles even. through
After
the
about 20 minutes in, you're like, what is this foreign language they're speaking? So thank you for not leaving.
Absolutely.
Thank you for blocking her path. Yeah. So Daisies and your daughter goes to St. Luke. So who are the St. Luke people? All right, there's several St. Luke people here. Okay.
I'm in good company.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. That's our first new Daisy troop. Oh, my gosh, okay.
Amanda Femeno.
Amanda.
And then Kristen, as you go down there as well.
Kristen.
Sit down.
Delco.
Thank you very much.
That's it. All right, Carrie, take it away.
Okay, I have just a couple of membership reminders. On-time memberships are due September the 30th. Probably the majority of you have already registered your girls. But again, on time due September the 30th. And if you have girls that haven't re-registered, I suggest, and I've always suggested, that the leaders go into MyGS and register the girl for the parent. It's a lot easier, you have access to do it. Come October the 1st, that access goes away. So if you know of someone that is going to want to renew, if you want to, go in and renew them. That's, I think, the quickest and the easiest way to do that. You can do that through MyGS. Council also extended the cookie incentive. So if you did not early bird your girls, if you registered 2 adults and 5 girls by August the 31st, and you participate in the fall product sale, selling 5 products, you do have that incentive, the 5 cents per box, when you sell Girl Scout cookies in the winter. So I think that's always a great incentive. If you didn't get the chance to early bird, you can still take advantage of this incentive by registering by August the 31st. Okay? And then moving on on to recruiting. This is going to be an interesting year for recruitments. And we were just trying to get an idea. The recruitment team has been working. We've had some meetings to try to figure out how we're going to do this year. We have kind of decided to none of the schools are probably going to let us get into the buildings at all. So starting the week of September the 14th, we are going to have recruitment events here at Ailey, right under this pavilion. What we're going to do is we're going to spread them into 2 nights. Right now we have the 15th, the 16th, and the 17th of September booked. But we're thinking of having Shaw in Maine one night, and St. Luke and Trayvine another night. So with that in mind, once we establish the dates, we're going to talk to I haven't had a chance actually to talk to the school recruiters about this yet either. So once we establish the dates of which schools are going to be on which particular date, we would need leaders to be there with some girls, because we're going to socially distance, probably have some stations set up to keep the girls occupied that come with their parents as we talk to the parents, and we try to do a typical recruitment event. Does anybody have any questions about that?
What was the date then, 16th?
Tuesday, the 15th of September, the 16th Wednesday, and the 17th of September.
Or some variation thereof. Yeah.
Or some variation, exactly.
We're gonna have them here. Here, we use a lot of this property.
So right now, I have asked the school recruiters are going to go back just to see what we can do at the school. Are we able to pass out the typical flyers that we used to do? Are we able to come in at all? Susan and I able to go in and do any kind of girl talks, wristbands? More than likely, a lot of those answers are going to be no, but we are going to try to see what we can do. We have, signage. Typically, we're allowed to hang them outside, put them outside. Can we hang them inside the buildings? That type of thing. So we will have more information definitely by our next leader meeting, but we would like as many troop leaders to be at the recruitment event on the night that we do your school. That would be very helpful. Also, hopefully everyone had a chance to mark the sheets as you came in to check in. We're kind of gauging how your troop information on how your troop plans to meet next year, whether it's this coming year into next year. If you're going to be all virtual, if you're going to be a hybrid of virtual and in person, or if you plan to meet all in person. If you can let us know, we're not going to hold you to that, but if you have an idea, please let us know that. If you know where you're going to meet and when you're going to meet, the day you're going to meet, please, the time you're going to meet, indicate that as well. And also, most importantly, if you are willing to accept new girls. Typically, we go into these recruitment events trying to form new troops. We will do that at the kindergarten level, and we will see, just based on our numbers, what we will do for the other troops. Like I said, it's going to be interesting.
Awesome.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to work. We will get the girls. But that's kind of how we approach these recruitment events. Okay? Anybody have any other questions regarding recruitment? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, are we down to the end? I lost my borrowed agenda. Okay, whatever. All right. Have we overwhelmed everybody? Yes? Linda's like, yes, I'm quitting today. No. It's going to be great. Okay.
1 year left, so.
And knowing you, it can't happen too soon, too quickly, right?
Right.
Okay.
Moving out of state.
We can hook you up with another Girl Scout council somewhere. That's right. Okay, all right, to end, if everybody would form a circle around here, we're not touching anybody. Stay 6 feet away.
You can try to tell that you're too close. There you go.
Make new friends that keep the old.
Oh, everybody's already there. Too slow.
From the other
All right, so what I want us to think about is, what are your hopes and dreams for this year? You can think in your head, you don't have to say it out loud. And once you have decided what it is, you're gonna wave the person to your left. And then, instead of passing the squeeze, we're gonna pass the wave. And when it gets back to me, we'll do a 1, 2, 3 and turn out on, what? What should we turn out on? No. Good night, Girl Scouts. Okay.
We can get over the end.
All right. This is where it all falls apart, right here. All right, so right over left, you're going to think about what is your hopes and dreams for your troop for this year. And when you've thought of that, wave the person to your left. So instead of passing a squeeze, we're going to pass the wave around. And when it gets back to me, then we'll turn out. 1, 2, 3. Good night, Girl Scouts, I guess.
And you're starting, correct?
I'm starting it. Okay, here we go. Ready? All right. You do not have to say it out loud. You do not have to say it out loud, but I'm going to. I'm going to hope for grace and accommodation for everybody. All of our ideas are fabulous, and this is going to be a fabulous year. You guys are thinking really fast.
Please call the school.
All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good night, Girl Scouts. All right, if you did not get a chance to answer Carrie's questions, please do that. There are bumper stickers. Oh, I forgot about this. Have you done the Easter egg hunt